Yow! What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the absolute best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. We are talking about the Royal Rundown, hosted by yours truly, SERG VICENTE, and my sister from another mister, the person that Triple H is still looking for, Miss Dre Day. Miss Dre, what is going on?
Add me to the list. I'm coming back too, son.
Coming back. Look, we ain't even gonna play around with this today. The mic been acting crazy, so we gonna just switch it up. Am I frozen over there?
You are frozen visually, but audioly we can hear you.
We gonna fix this. We're gonna get that going back in a minute. We back. Granted, I don't like this angle. It's not hitting me the way I like it. I like the other one, but it's all good. We're gonna keep the party going. Everybody, how are you doing today? This is SERG VICENTE, the host of the fantastic show. We are brought to you each and every, usually Tuesday, but today is Wednesday. We switch it up for you guys from time to time. Shout out to our people at the Scrap News. Always love. Go check out the Scrap News for the absolute best in all of combat sports journalism. Great articles, great videos, great things that they have over there, and not on their website as well as their pages. So go ahead and check them out today. All right, Dre, how's everything going with you?
Yo, it's crazy. Life is dope. Work is crazy, busy. And I don't know if you heard, but wrestling is dope right now. Like
professional wrestling feels like it was, should I say, when I was a young tyke. When I was watching, if you look yonder behind me over here, you could probably see some Attitude Era related something. And it was absolutely, this is what it feels like. Trips We Trust. We're going to talk about everything Triple H is doing, as well as what AEW is doing, because let's be very honest, ever since Forbidden Door, AEW has been hitting home runs left and right. So love what I'm seeing from them, and I can't wait to do it. But let's go ahead and start off with Trips and everything that's going on with WWE. We've had a lot of people coming back. We've had Karrion Kross. We've had, Hit Row. Hit Row came back. Obviously, minus Swerve. Swerve is doing his thing in AEW, but Hit Row is back, which is fantastic. And there's a litany of other people coming back. Dre, who do you think is next?
Let's see. Aside from me, no, I'm just one time for NXT Black and Gold. No.
I love it. Let's go.
No, I think that I'm gonna give you a slightly long answer, but along with Hit Row and Karrion Kross making on air, on screen comebacks, I love the rebuilding and like resets for some of the characters that have already been on screen, like Kevin Owens going back to the prize fighter, Drew McIntyre actually looking like a human being that makes sense against Roman Reigns. Tommaso Ciampa, aka Ciampa, whatever you want to call him at this point. Ciampa actually having some meat to his bones, and just like that character. I don't know how they made a tag team with The Miz be fun and entertaining. I love The Miz, though this is no shade to The Miz, but it's just really dope to see that actually have some meat to it. Ricochet, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander have all been on our screens and had matches in the last 2 weeks, and this has just been dope. Who do I think is next? I think we're gonna see Bray Wyatt. I think the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, one of the iterations or a new iteration of him. I feel like that is on the way.
Okay. Look, I would love that. I know I've seen people recently talk about, I think I saw his hand over here, one of the little backstage vignettes that they've been doing. First of all, I really love that they're doing that, all the backstage stuff, and you can see little things going on in the background, and I love that they're doing that. And again, it feels like Attitude Era WWF. Like, I love it. It's really fun to see it. The way that they're getting Dexter Lumis in there is fantastic.
Not like insulting our intelligence with the Dexter Lumis stuff. Like, that's really fly. Like, if you didn't know that was Dexter Lumis, you would still kind of tell, like, that's part of the show, but I love that they're handling it like it's not. And then those of us who know who Dexter Lumis is, you're like, yeah, that's kind of fly.
Oh, it's awesome. It's really great. And I'll be honest with you, I love the addition to Hit Row. I was a huge Hit Row fan, obviously, prior to them getting cut before. Obviously, I love the iteration of Hit Row with Swerve, but look, Swerve is killing it right now with Keith Lee, over in AEW. Swerve
current
and Glory is
champ.
Current tag team champions. One of the best things going in AEW right now with so many possible storylines. So I'm happy for them, but I'm happy to see Hit Row coming back because they can be a legitimate tag team and a tag team which is desperately needed right now in the WWE. And I think Trips knows that. Top Dollar is a fantastic big man who is super athletic, who he has the heavy but the leader type of vibe. Somebody
trained
in
by
the
Dudley
future,
Boys.
Trained by the Dudley Boys. Mm-hmm. I can absolutely see him in the future with a match against Gunther. Come on. Ooh. You can see it.
Nice wild card thought. I never thought about
that. I'm telling you. Okay. I would love that. And the reason I thought of it that way because Trips isn't opposed to having tag teams do singles events. And not only is he not opposed to doing that, Top Dollar is a Trips guy. And Trips doesn't have very many big guy of his guys. And Top Dollar is one of them.
I would say I'm going to slightly disagree in terms of the fact that I think Triple H has a really nice mixture of rumored Trips guys right now. You know what I mean? There's you've got there's a Top Dollar and a Karrion Kross, but then you also have your Ciampas and your Kevin Owenses. So it's like I think he's kind of rushing. He's kind of what Triple H. With Triple H now at the head of creative, right? Again, we're in uncharted territory. This literally never happened in WWE history, right? We're in a Vince McMahon-less wrestling age right now, which is just
crazy.
Which hasn't happened since however long ago. So
at least 60 years.
Right. So it's fly that, with someone at the head like Triple H, who actually has a diverse eye for what's cool now, but still understanding the importance of tag team wrestling and the importance of wrestling psychology and in-ring psychology and all that. Another lovely thing that I love that we're seeing is almost like a re-education of the audience for the Intercontinental titles, the USA titles, the women's tag team titles, and just the women's division.
We'll talk about that in a moment also.
It's just nice to see, I think one of the old kind of arguments for why they don't try to do these mass kind of changes is because they don't think the audience is smart enough to understand that. WWE spent a lot of time catering to little kids and catering to older fans and no one in between. After the Attitude Era ended, they kind of got they didn't give if we watched, cool, but if they didn't really care about us no more. And
they didn't. Absolutely not.
And what we saw in AEW's creation and the rise of independent wrestling and even before that is that actually, yes, you can. Actually, yes, you can. Yeah. Your audience is not as stupid as you think they are. You do not have to spell out everything for them. You can show and not necessarily tell all the time. And then you can just let these wrestlers, these pro wrestlers, you can call them what they are, pro wrestlers.
Yo, how good does it feel to hear on WWE telecast to hear people say wrestler and hospital? I've heard both of those things. And I was like,
you don't like local medical facility?
Come on.
Local medical facility.
Local medical facility. Dog, just say hospital. They finally got it. They're saying it. The fact that they're saying wrestler and leaning into it. The fact that there's actually... So what they're saying that Trips is allowing them to do, every aspect used to be kind of mapped out. And for those who don't know, and I have the ugliest face when frozen right now. Okay, there it is. You fixed it.
It's the focus face. It was focus.
But they said that Trips gives them the bandwidth to kind of create on their own, to kind of freestyle in the midst of it. So we're getting actual pay-per-view quality matches or premium live event matches on, regular on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, to be able to see Shinsuke and Gunther in that manner, to be able to, and actually putting on a show like that, hard hitting, you feel it, went back and forth. These are two guys that were legends prior to coming to WWE. And now you let the world now you're not watering down the product anymore. And that's what I feel like was happening. You're allowing them to cook. We're seeing Fergal versus Rey Mysterio. and actually allowing them to cook, which is crazy to be able to see. There was another, I mean, watching Kevin Owens come out and just having a match.
Have you even
with
met
Drew
this Kevin
McIntyre?
Owens, Serge?
I have never seen this guy.
I don't think
this
you've
guy
met that
is
guy.
new to me. Look, hey, I am a fan. And first of all, watching him throw that, like, I knew he was supposed to lose that match. It made sense for him to lose that match, right? But to watch Drew McIntyre actually have to get down like that, I'm like, yo.
You ain't met that Drew McIntyre either.
I don't know who this dude is. I don't know who this man is. And that's what it felt like when you're watching this product right now. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm blown away, because the thing I told you and I told this audience time and time again. And oh, by the way, anybody who's watching live right now on YouTube, on the Fight Podcast, or on the Scrap News, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let people know about the absolute best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. But I'm sorry, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought.
I think you're just saying
about Drew and that, but regardless, continue.
You're talking. I think it's dope. Like I mentioned, you're kind of along with all of the people that Trips is bringing back. It's really great to kind of see characters kind of get a reintroduction to the world. Those of us who've been watching wrestling for a gajillion years, we are like, yes, thank God. We've wanted to see these people look like this again. Those of you who maybe just picked up wrestling again, a year or so ago, y'all really haven't met these people yet. Y'all met versions of them that were very watered down. And then in the last 2 weeks, I feel like everyone's just kind of it's like they all, like the Phoenix Rising, if you will. Everybody's just kind of back and has that fire in them, and that's
shout
really
out to my college name.
Wait, what?
That was my college, my line name. I appreciate you throwing that shout out.
You know what? I forgot, but now I remembered. Man, we old.
Not like I be like, that was a while ago. Not like I be wearing it everywhere. Like,
you don't. You really don't.
Talking about it like that. I'm not one of those guys. Some dudes is like that, and check it out. And if you frat and if you still, you know what I'm saying, you mid-30s, you pounding your chest. Look, I appreciate you. There needs to be more brothers like you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not that dude. I'm just real, but I was low key when I was in it too. So
facts.
Not like I was quiet. Facts. I was chill.
Can confirm, because I was also present there. You're present in the good old Redbird days. He was chill.
There,
he was
holding it down. I was chill. I was just, you know what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna sit me out here like don't get it twisted. If it was a party, I was definitely the first one in line. I was strolling my ass off.
Definitely got the stroll on. Don't get it twisted.
I got my party on, okay? Strolling and dancing, I did it. But aside from that, nah. All right. But no, being able to see somebody like Kevin Owens, not only Kevin Owens, be able to see him and do what they do. I'm happy to, and I'm excited to be able to see somebody like a Sami Zayn as well.
Yes.
And really be able to see him be that character that a lot of us know. He, like the one who had the matches, the great matches with Shinsuke when he was with NXT and things of that nature. I mean, fantastic. There's so many opportunities, and I honestly cannot wait to kind of see everything come to fruition. I mean, we even know, and I'm comfortable to say, when Roman loses one of the belts or both of them, it's going to make sense now, and I'm not going to be irritated. It'll make sense. So I'm just so excited and happy to be able to see that. And
almost instantly, I'm sorry, and I don't mean I'm so sorry to cut, but almost instantly we now have. I mean, you can go back, y'all. Make sure you go back and watch pre-old episodes of the Royal Rundown. Old, we're 23 episodes in.
23 in, holding it down like Mike.
Okay. You'll see episodes of us talking about like just the fact that how convoluted some of these storylines are, and then also how we weren't sure who the heck's going to take these belts off Roman. And because we love Roman bloodline all day, salute to our tribal chief all day long, but you know what I mean? Got to hit him with the salute. But at some point, he has to lose one or both of those belts at some point. And there was just a toss up of who could potentially do this, because they hadn't built anybody around that scene that looks like a credible threat. We now have Drew McIntyre as a credible threat. We have Karrion Kross as a credible threat. We have Kevin Owens lurking in the background. Seth Rollins
in the background. He called out. and he said it from the beginning. This is what I'm going for. So now you have Kevin Owens running around crazy. Riddle's still out there.
I was gonna say, and dare I say, Seth Rollins and Riddle, like and not even a tier below them, but like just kind of teetering in like a B selection main event thing.
Exactly.
And it's just really nice to see. It's just cool because again, your audience isn't dumb. We can concentrate on multiple things at the same time. Raw is 3 hours long.
It's funny, but it's been moving. And the only thing that honestly,
time to do it.
Yeah, and the only thing that honestly hasn't been working in my is I meant to do this. Only thing that hasn't been working in my opinion as we move this stuff around is Veer. Veer still isn't working for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Veer was on a reset this week too. He had a squash. Him and Omos both. They had squash matches the last 2 weeks. It's like they're not in anything storyline wise. And I think that's exactly exactly where they belong right now. I say Raw is 3 hours long. We have time for 2 squash matches. You know what I'm saying? We have time for that. And absolutely. In those squash matches, you're still building them as credible monsters. I think they got a whole nother month of squash matches, to go before we even think about putting them in another storyline type of thing. And I think that's fine.
No, that makes perfect sense. I think that makes perfect sense. But everything to this point has been extremely exciting. It's been very exciting to see. It's a lot of fun. And I think, again, and they even have, even there's enough goofiness. Elias and Ezekiel and Elrod in them. Like, we're all out there doing stuff in one pic. It was fantastic.
One picture saved that whole situation. It's great. So much fun. Very easy.
All right. Before we transition from this topic, I do need to ask you this. Who, in your opinion, give me the next 2 people that are going to come back?
Well, I said Bray Wyatt earlier. I'm going to go ahead and hit. I don't know if you can see, but Miss Glow herself, Naomi and Sasha Banks. I expect their return imminently. As soon as that women's tag team, when we get those, that tag team, women's tag team tournament cracking, right? We've got that going. I think that's fly. We're building our women's division. Our women's division is going to look better and more whole and robust already. Once we crown those 2, the champions, I'm going to say, right? Because that's the winners of this tournament are going to be the champions. That's when enter Naomi and Sasha. We get a stare down because they never lost their titles. And that is immediately in a wonderful feud. I don't think they even have to win that. Sasha and Naomi don't have to win that. They can literally have this feud with whoever does win the tournament, crown the true women's tag team championships. And then now you immediately have 2 single stars for the women's division. And again, do I dare say multiple women's storylines going on at the same time? Who are we right now?
And we're not even talking about the fact that, and we've talked about Ronda Rousey before, I'm not the biggest fan, but guess what? She's in storylines and she's even doing things that make sense right now.
Yes,
and it's you can even get behind this character because it feels more legitimate and real. Like, I like
Hollywood
Ronda. You know what I'm saying? It's great. It's great. But it fits her. It's exactly what she should be doing. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So it's great to be able to see that. Great to be able to see that they're finally, moving people in the right direction. I totally agree with you. I think Sasha and Naomi come back. I think it is when they have the new champions crowned. Boom, moving on to the next one. The music's gonna drop. They're gonna come in, and here's the thing. I can tell the direction of how they're gonna treat them, depending on who wins this upcoming week. If Io Sky and Dakota win, beat Asuka and Alexa, if they beat them, then okay, we got them. They're gonna be faces. We're gonna cheer them the whole time. If Alexa and Asuka win, they're coming back heel, and I love that even more.
And the fly part about that is no matter who wins that tournament match, it's going to be a great match with Sasha and Naomi.
Oh my God, yes.
The other dope part is no matter who loses that match, you're going to have 2 really flies. Asuka's already a star. Alexa Bliss is in need of a rebrand, but I think it's coming. I really do think it's coming. And
Alexa
I actually
Morgan.
think that, and what I would love is quit it. And what I would love is that if Alexa and Asuka do lose to Dakota Sky or Dakota, see, I did the same thing Bailey did. Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Bless her heart.
She said, I heard it, damn it.
Right, and a great comeback from that. By the way, that's professional.
For sure.
I think that's the way that Io and Dakota should win that.
I think so too.
Asuka break Asuka and Alexa up so that you can have 2 more stars. Again, I'm trying. 1,000%. We're building a robust women's division that both has tag teams and has single stars, and there's plenty of talent to go around.
And it's great because here's the thing. One thing that I was watching the women's division was so terrible and boring because unfortunately the talent wasn't there. They showed you with the top talent constantly, and then everybody else was honestly 24/7 worthy. Let's just keep it a buck, right? That's what it was. Right. Now they're bringing back the actual talent, and oh my God, guess what? It's actually entertaining and fun to watch when you're actually seeing the top talent go in there. Because now I can see especially when Naomi and Sasha come back. There's a litany of people that I can visibly see beating Bianca at some point in time. We're not even talking about Charlotte coming back. Do you know what I'm saying?
We haven't even touched on it, right? Because and that's still in the chamber, right? Like that's still in the chamber.
Come on.
My man's in the chat. Great shout. Shayna Baszler being built again on SmackDown as a flipping monster. Love that, because that's exactly who she. Another example of a star we've seen already get the Brie brand that should have been the brand they already had to begin with. Shayna Ronda, that storyline I think is going to be amazing. I really want Shayna to beat Liv Morgan, and I'm not a Liv Morgan hater, but I really think that Shayna should beat Liv. Liv can go through her thing. I think they might have to turn her heel just because of the way the crowd's, responded to her right now.
The crowd definitely isn't responding to her at this point in time. It's not. I'm a part of the crowd.
Yes, but I would love to see that. Shayna, I actually don't mind that. Shayna and Ronda maybe doing a tag.
I want to see
doing a tag team for 2 seconds.
Makes sense.
I don't hate that at all.
And guess what? They can legitimately beat up most of everybody in there. Like, I'm here for it. It's believable.
In real life, they can do that.
That's what I'm saying. In real life, they can go out there and just beat people up. Like, I'm here for it.
Absolutely.
I think it's great. I love what they're doing. As we always say, in Trips We Trust. It's made me go back and even watch, on Peacock, end up watching different Triple H like docs and stuff like that. I'm like, how in depth was this dude? Triple
H
the
promo.
The game. Watch making the promo.
Oh my God.
We love it. So we love it there. But you understand how much of a student of the game he was and is.
Absolutely.
And now it makes sense why. And it's funny because people were afraid when Trips took over, the goofiness might go away because they're like, yo, we might get some straight just wrestling. And guess what? We've gotten straight wrestling, but we've got storylines and we've had a lot of fun. Dude, Mr. DX.
Right.
Mr. DX.
Like, what are we talking about? This is Triple H dressed up as Vince McMahon in the ring. Like, can we not act like
Triple H, the man who pretended to have a storyline with the boss's daughter just to end up taking over the country? The man's a genius. Or the company.
The man. Now, this is not one of his best decisions, but the man who put on a Kane mask and got into a coffin with the Katie Vick story with Kane. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't look it up. Just trust me. You're don't lose your brain cells.
Trips is a wild dude. Okay. Wild dude. and then just to think that his best friend is Shawn Michaels and then Kevin Nash and just the whole clan, just the entire, salute to the clique. Y'all won.
Honestly,
if it boils down to it, the Clique won. They won. They beat pro wrestling.
They really did. They
beat pro wrestling.
They played the long game for real. You know what I mean?
And they beat pro wrestling. They
rest
went
in
out
peace,
there.
Scott Hall. On top of that,
they were the rest in peace, Scott Hall. They were the ones to go out there, the first ones to pull back the curtain and say, "Damn your kayfabe." From the jump.
Right.
From the jump, you know what I'm saying? They went out there, were the first ones to literally, they started the Attitude Era on both ends.
And dominated it on both ends. Like, let's
dominated it on both ends.
And let's be clear, like they weren't like, and they, well, NWO obviously was the top stars in the NWCW, but like they let like Triple H, as I have to give it to him because he, again, long game. Trips didn't really start, you know, of course he had like he has the reputation of burying stars, but that didn't really start until Ruthless Aggression era, right? Like he waited till Stone Cold was gone, till Rock was gone, till Taker was a little older and couldn't do like the main event stuff.
He started cooking after that.
And then he was like, I'm gonna start Evolution. Like I can't, it's honestly genius in terms of when you see where he is right now, because it really did just align himself to be in the place that he is. And like, love him or hate him, respect it or not, like it's just one of those things where like if for a man who loved pro wrestling as a kid, became a pro wrestler, then got to work backstage and still wrestle sometimes, now he's not just working backstage, but he's running talent relations and creative.
Look,
you gotta give it up.
You can say is that he's the game.
He played it, man.
He's literally the game. What a perfect name for you know, Triple H, the game. Like it works. But salute to him because they are absolutely killing it. Everything is working over there. It has been just hits after hits after hits. All right, but we still have AEW, and guess what? They honestly haven't slowed down. There's so much going on over there. Tony is doing his damn thing still. I mean, they are putting a spotlight on Ricky. Yo, I'm telling you, I feel like we called this right before it happened. I feel like we started talking about Ricky's start beforehand. And the moment we started, I'm not saying it's because of us, but it's because of us. AEW obviously watches and listens.
They obviously watch the Royal Rundown, you know what I mean?
Obviously. But because Ricky Starr goes out here and has been an absolute star, and he's been positioned as an absolute star ever since the breakup between him and Powerhouse Hobbs, and him losing the FTW belt to his young protege Hook. And you know we love Hook here on the Royal Rundown. I'm a Hook fan, damn it.
Gotta love Hook.
Gotta love Team Taz, even though Taz says it's no more.
I know, sad face.
Sad face. But for me, that and Swerve & Glory is what I have been the most excited about recently. What, in your opinion, have you really enjoyed about AEW recently as well? Because again, they're absolutely killing
it. We have their biggest pay-per-view of the year coming up in 2-ish weeks. It's the first weekend in September, I believe. It's that weekend. And so obviously things are just going to do nothing but ramp up for the next few weeks, right? Because their WrestleMania is happening very, very soon, all out. So we had the show starts in 19 minutes for AEW Dynamite tonight on TBS. Check it out. Free.
We'll be out of here before so y'all can watch.
Right. Tony, hit us up with the check, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Let us know, Tony.
No, and so tonight, I'm just really excited for I'm excited to continue to build all of the storylines. Obviously, one of the largest, dopest, biggest storylines happening right now is for the AEW championship. We've got the interim champion, Jon Moxley, aka former Dean Ambrose from WWE, and then we have the actual AEW champion, CM Punk, back from injury as of last week, right?
Right. And he looks fantastic, by the way.
He looks great. One time for AJ Lee, girl. We see you, sir. We see you. So that's going to be number one. If they get in the ring and suck, which we know they won't.
They will not. It will be a fantastic match.
For funsies, let's just say they do. Do you understand that the promos we're about to get between now and All Out are about to be?
Y'all can keep them. I'm okay.
No,
look, let me.
no.
I'm gonna
We
say
finna fight. We about to fight. Serge,
I'm okay
don't do
with
it.
that because
don't
you know
put
what?
That out.
I think your love for Dean Ambrose has gotten the best of you.
John
I'm gonna
Moxley.
say it. I am going to say this, and I don't care if this is an unpopular opinion. I am not here for Dead Poet Society Mox. I'm not.
I hate that.
Okay,
that's what you call it.
I am not here for it. I am not here for it. And here's another thing too. I'm tired of you bleeding. It doesn't make sense that you do it every single week. And to me, at this point in time, it's diminishing the matches for me. It's just like, oh, you're the bleeding guy again. He is becoming to me just the bleeding guy as opposed to a quality wrestler. And I am absolutely done with Dead Poet. His promos suck.
No,
that Dead Pro Society stuff is no bueno to me, man. Look, now I will say this: I'm not being disrespectful. I'm keeping it a bean. You know, I'm sorry. Like I prefer when Max Caster comes out here than I do when Mox comes out here.
Okay,
even
quit it.
I do.
Okay,
I prefer. I'm just being honest.
Quit it.
But it's just, I think if he didn't bleed so much, I'd be okay with it. He bleeds just far too much.
I agree. I actually agree with you. And like, here's the thing. Like, I think it's hilarious. I do agree that Moxie. Thank you. My sister was. I was waiting on her because that's Moxie's her man. Don't you? I really feel like I agree with you. I think we don't need Moxley bleeding in every match. That's unnecessary.
They had just too much.
I think that the blood doesn't bother me as much as it bothers others, and that's just a preference thing, right? Everybody don't like that, and I completely get that, and actually really do understand that. And it can be very distracting from a match, right? Because you and I we've talked about this. When you take the blood away from it, sometimes you're like, all right, I watched it again, it wasn't as bad as I thought, but you were the blood took you out of it, and like that's still a part of it, right? You got to think about those things.
Absolutely a part of it.
What I will say is though, I love Dead Poet Society Moxley. I love those promos. I love the cadence of it all.
Who goes there? Death becomes her.
I love the cadence of it all. I love the seriousness. It reminds me, and I was trying to find, and I actually I figured out where it actually is. It reminds me, again, not exactly the same. See, we agree on all of that, right? But I do like Moxie's promo style because it reminds me of when Stone Cold Steve Austin got fired from WCW and ended up in ECW while he was injured. Let me finish. You're not letting me finish.
It is nothing like that.
It reminds me of when Stone Cold Steve Austin was doing those promos when he was injured in ECW, and he was just sitting in the back, very stripped down. That's what it reminds me of. We can agree.
Time out. When he came back from ECW, he was doing like the news. When he was in ECW, he left WCW. He went to ECW, and then he had the suit. Remember, and he was doing like the fake newscaster thing, and he was live.
That's one promo out of all of the ones I'm talking about.
No, he did a bunch of different ones, but I feel like he was always live.
Not always. No, not always.
Okay.
Not always.
Okay.
And the one I'm thinking of in particular, I believe it's in not One Night Stand pay-per-view. It was in 97. Taz is on the daggone thing. Not One Night Stand, but Barely Legal. It was the Barely Legal pay-per-view.
Okay.
And it was in 97, I believe. And he does a promo. He's not even like fully bald yet. He's got like a buzz kind of cut or whatever.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And he's got like fatigues on, and he's talking about how, people pack their lunch and go to their stupid ass job that they don't like and whatever. And I'm never going to do that, man. It reminds me, that's what these Moxley promos remind me of.
I hear you. I guess to me, the thing about Mox's promos in comparison, like that felt like from a place of passion, and like he was pissed off about something, so he was out there expressing himself. This just seems like my man out here just reciting poetry to me. He just out here he cut up like it. I don't feel it like that, but I also don't have an emotional connection to Mox. I have an emotional connection to other people. You know what I'm saying? So like I could, like, when you're saying that, I'm like, and you even bringing back some of the things. And you know what I do agree with? You said Mox, his in-ring style, because I was even shitting on his in-ring style recently too. I was like, look, this just some wrestlers aren't for you. I understand that.
That's real.
And
that's very real.
And that's just what it is. Mox just ain't my guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Like he's not. He's the weakest of the Shield. Okay. I'm sorry. But I'll tell you one thing. That's not a bad thing. The Shield is pretty fantastic.
I was like, that's a high bar. Like,
that
the Shield
is a high bar. You are the weakest of the Shield. It is totally fine. Okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, and you know, and to your credit, like, to your point, for example, Becky Lynch is not my my cup of tea.
But people love the man.
And people adore her. And and the thing is, I completely get why she resonates with people. She just don't resonate with me. And that's cool. Exactly. Like, and that's cool.
Same. And the same thing with Mox. I'm not mad at Mox. I get it. And I don't want people to think that I hate Mox, because I don't. I think he's important. And I'm glad that he's there. But what I was getting at was his in-ring style. If you do look at it, it is very workman in the way of like a Stone Cold. And I appreciate that when I see it, because I do appreciate that style. Not everything has to be flippy shit. I understand that. I love the flippy shit. I do.
We do love some flippy shit.
But I exactly, you know. You know, it don't have to all be Will Ospreay. Like, I get it.
Right.
You know, but I appreciate his groundedness. No. And that's why I think his match with him and, for instance, CM Punk is going to be fantastic. I think CM Punk's going to come in there with something to prove. He wasn't fully back in shape, and now he's going to be totally healthy. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be such a great match. I can't. And come on, any FTR. Now we finally have that opportunity to see CM Punk and FTR together, which we are starting to build towards. It's going to be dope.
It is. It really is. And what I'm actually really, really interested in, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. After Wednesday, right? Mox and Punk are two really great. Another example. Mox and Punk are really great tweeners when they have to be tweeners, right? They almost like steer towards tweener, and then, like, depending on who they're wrestling, lets you know whether they're going to be a face or a heel. Now we have them facing each other, and to me, and you can let me know. To me, I feel like we're steering towards Punk face, John heel, and I really am interested to see that. We all know Punk plays the amazing heel, and I think we'll eventually get an AEW Punk heel turn at some point. It ain't happening right now, because those people are going to scream to the top of their lungs every time they see him.
I think we were heading to Punk going heel prior to the injury. I think we were even getting a heel FTR. I think all three of them were turning heel together. But look at how since that time Dax has been. I've said it here. I think he's been the best wrestler of 2022. Dax might be the wrestler of 2022. Like, since Cody got hurt, consistently top to bottom, there's been two wrestlers this year that have been killing it, one on each side. One has been Dax, the other is Seth Rollins. There's no question.
Yeah,
consistently.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The two of those guys are killing it right now. All right. But Dax has been so hot. They're super faces right now. They're keeping.
You don't cut a promo about your sick daughter and then win.
Talking about
I'm fight like a girl and try to be a heel. That ain't happening.
It ain't happening no time soon.
We still wipe our tears and cheering for you at the same time. Quit it. It's really fly.
It's so fly.
It's so fly. I think another match I'm really geeked to see in All Out is I'm interested, I should say, to see who Swerve in Our Glory kind of goes against, because they gotta defend their titles at All Out, right? And I might have missed it, but I'm interested to see what their storyline going into All Out is going to be.
Maybe we'll find out more today.
Today we have to today or Friday, because we got 5 minutes to build to it, so it's time.
Yeah.
I think Athena's gonna take Athena, aka the former Ember Moon. I think she's gonna take that TNT title or that TBS title from Jade. I think it's happening, because I think it's time for Jade to move on up. I think it's time.
I agree. And give her a real thing. You don't think they're gonna pull a Goldberg, have like 130 something odd wins or nothing like that? Now they just going with 30 something and it's over.
Listen, I know I said what I just said about 5.5 seconds ago, but that is very possible. It is very possible we can get Jade as that TBS champion until next year. Like that would not surprise me. I'm just saying that this is the closest they've gotten to building a challenger that is believable and credible. And Athena, aka Ember. I love Ember. I miss that name. Ember Moon was a dope name, but like I get it. Athena's a fly name too. I think Athena is also another really credible woman who can defend that title in a real way. I know I just feel Jade is such an anomaly because she's very much a Goldberg, Kurt Angle even type of person. And I say Kurt Angle as in someone who was an athlete but wasn't a wrestler before they started wrestling, but has picked up wrestling so fast.
Kurt Angle was still he was
an amateur wrestler. I take that back. You understand what I'm trying to say. Mark Henry, better example actually. Mark Henry was
that's a great better example actually. Great example.
Let's talk about the guy who found her. Yes. Mark Henry.
Sense. Yeah.
There you go. Mark Henry was an athlete and picked up wrestling really fast, but was still also learning on the job. Jade is learning on the job. And what we see is, Jade is a superstar. It's just insane. Like she really don't have to do anything. And you look at her like, you do something. You're famous for real. So it's just cool. No. I think it's cool to watch her and have that journey as her learning on the job with this TBS title. They considered a secondary title, but I mean, you put her. I think when Britt Baker was the women's champion at the time, honest. And you put her.
Who's a bigger star? Who's a bigger star? Jade is by far the biggest female star that AEW has. It's not even close.
She's the biggest star.
Y'all can miss me with that, Dr. Britt Baker. I'm sorry.
You talking about women?
Jade is the women. I think that she's the biggest star of the women's.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when you got Rihanna, giving you Fenty contracts and putting you on the Instagram, Britt Baker don't have an Instagram. Rihanna's not tweeting Rihanna. No offense to DMD,
and she's fantastic. She is.
She's cool. She's another one of those for me. Nice. Yeah. That was really nice. She's like, honestly,
I will say that is cool. that's one thing I will say about I would like to see. That's why I'm happy Athena's there, because I think Athena's actually talented, and I think she's actually somebody who can actually work, right? And that's the thing. What's it called? The champion. What's her name? I'm blanking on her. Thunder Rosa can really wrestle. She can really go. So you see her, I appreciate her. And there's a couple other ones, like they can get out there, but it's just, I feel like there's just not enough talent. And I'm ready to see Jade move on and actually go for that title and then hold that for a year, something like that, and wreak havoc with her. And I love what they're doing with Stokely right now. With Stokes, have him out there snatching up talent and everything. It's fantastic. Everything they're doing right now is great. The fact that obviously, we have CM Punk coming back is good. What do you think about the little trios tournament that's happening? And you have another dude who I don't love very much, Cowboy. Oh no, forget all that. They said that Kenny Omega's coming back tonight.
That is to me, he has to. If Kenny Omega does not return to be the Young Bucks' partner in the trios tournament or whatever match tonight,
I was leading to
it's gonna be one of the biggest. Is he on your screen?
He's on TV.
He's gonna be one of the biggest misses AEW does if they don't do that. I mean, it's and honestly, I woke up this morning before I started work or whatever, and that is all of the timeline was talking about was the return of Kenny Omega. And so, because they've alluded to it on BTE this week, they've literally been alluding to it for the last maybe month or so. The man's coming back, and I think that is. Not to talk, wrestling wars or anything, because we've been through that with the Attitude Era with WCW and AEW.
But it's reminiscent.
But it's
this time is starting to get reminiscent.
Punk's back, Bryan Danielson's back, and then we bring back Kenny Omega. It's like the trifecta of bringbacks to kind of answer Triple H's creative stuff that's happening too. And honestly, that is the best That's the move. That's the move.
It
That's
works.
the best thing to do. And we win as fans because we get to watch it all.
As fans. Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely do. It's going to be fantastic. Tonight's Dynamite. So watch that. Let's see if Kenny Omega does come back.
It's coming on in 3 minutes.
Right. Dre, is there anything else that you want to touch on before we get up out of here today?
Listen, thank you to everybody who is watching live, commenting in the comments. We love y'all. We really appreciate y'all. Make sure you check us out on all of the platforms. We are on Spotify. We on Apple. We're on Google Play. So if you want to Stitcher, SoundCloud, all that. So if you want to listen to us instead of just watching us, you can listen to us on the Fight Podcast on all of those platforms. If you like watching our lovely faces, I don't know about you, Serge, but I'm looking fly today. So make sure you rewatch this so you can see what color lipstick I got on and my star earrings. Other than that, make sure you also share this because look, wrestling is fun right now. So if you used to watch it and you haven't been watching it lately, you need to start. That's all I got.
And look, West Side Gun, if you're looking for somebody in a team, it gets no better than this right here, the Royal Rundown, the absolute best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. I'm telling you, I stand on that. All right. And I didn't even freeze when I said that. So the camera decided to work. If you like to get fantastic merch and cups like Miss Dre Day is rocking like that, or a sweatshirt like I am here, check out Etsy.com/shop for fantastic merch. All right. You guys know what time it is. Go out there and enjoy, Dynamite, all that wrestling. But before we leave you, we always leave you with a little bit of wisdom from the prophet himself, Fat Joe.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price.